that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name is Dave Foley, and Willie's family has done me the very great honor of acting as the celebrant here today. My job is not to teach you about Willie. You know him. Almost all of you know him better than I do. I knew him that much. We live in the same building and have for a few years. My job is to make sure that we celebrate Willie. It's not about David and it's not about anybody else. It's about Willie. And I just suggest to you that Willie was not the kind of guy that would sit solemnly. Oh, he would know the pain that you've got right now. But I said to the family just a few minutes ago, I'm going to go and tell them to pump up that music. Willie didn't do anything quietly like that. So, yeah. So you don't have to be quiet. Well, you have to be polite, but you just work on that. We're going to take the time that we need to do the job that we came to do, which is to say goodbye and to celebrate Willie Anderson. I would just like to make a couple of announcements. First of all, I want to say welcome to those who are watching this service online, who aren't able to be here today. Welcome. And to you as well, I express my sincere condolences. You've given a gift, all of you, that perhaps you're not aware of. In my work, I very often get asked by folks, so what can we do? Really, what can we do to help? You're doing it. You're standing with the family. Well, I know you're sitting, but some of you must be lazy, I guess. You're here for this family. And before we came in, Andrew, the director, said to the family, now remember, it's sometimes nerve-wracking to go in front of so many people. But remember, they're all there for you. So you have to do a little bit of work right now. If you're here to support the family and you promise that, put your hand up, please. I want to see the hands. Yep. I wish you could see this. Thank you very much. They've committed to you. They're here for you. Another announcement. At the end of the service, you will already know that there will be a reception and a time of fellowship at the Anavets Hall, which is at 279 High Street West. We encourage you to go immediately after the service. We would ask you just to do this one thing. When we leave here this afternoon, the family is going to move directly across to the Harvey Room for a few private moments. They will join you very, very shortly at the Anavets, but they ask for your understanding and allowing them. Oh, it's okay. I thought somebody was telling me I was talking too long. And I just got started. So please, as soon as you exit, make your way to the Anavets, and you'll be able to greet the family there with one another. You'll raise a glass, maybe. You'll have a cup of coffee. You'll eat something. You'll be talking together, and all of the tension that you feel right now will be gone. You'll be able to talk about Willie and share the stories. And actually, we only begin here in terms of celebrating, don't we? It gets even better when you get to the Anavets Hall. And the last announcement, donations to the Canadian Lung Association would be very deeply appreciated by the family in Willie's memory. If you need help getting an envelope, we have plenty of them here at the funeral home. As you leave, if you want to take an envelope, or you want to fill it out here, just ask any one of the funeral home staff. All of them know what is needed to help you, and they'll be glad to do that. All right, now, are you relaxed? Sort of, eh? So if you're tense, that's going to register up here. So here's what I want you to do. Just sort of slouch in your chair, get comfortable as you can be. And now, do this. A deep breath in. And out. Close your eyes if you need to. A breath in. And let it out. And once more, relax your shoulders, everything. A breath in. And let it out. Thank you. There is no way that we can fill the gap that has been left in our circle of family, friends, and fellowship that has been left by the death of Willie Anderson. I sat with the family the other evening in that beehive of activity that was actually Willie's apartment. And I was just so amazed. First of all, that there was absolutely no friction between the family members. They were united, absolutely. They were there and were here to remember and pay tribute to and celebrate their dad and grandfather and uncle and brother. And there were friends coming and going and just a whirl of activity. I think it's sort of like the way Willie lived. Kind of, for one sitting there trying to write notes, it was a bit chaotic, I'll tell you. And it's their fault if I wrote something down wrong. Well, I wouldn't even be able to tell you if I wrote it down wrong, because now I can't read my own writing. So here we go. All right. All of that was just to help you. Just take it easy. Willie was the kind of man that superlatives were made for. You know, the greatest, the best, the most wonderful, the kindest, the happiest, the best dancer, I understand, and so on and so on. He never did things in halfway measure, and he never loved just a little bit. His heart was open, wide open, not just to his family, but to every one of you. And in that regard, let me remind you again, when you're at the Anavets later, share those feelings, share some of those stories with his family. We're going to listen to a couple of people who know Willie perhaps best of any of us. I'm going to read some things that were written to memorialize Willie. Many of you here probably worked with Willie. And my understanding is that Willie was one of those nurse administrators who knew how to nurse and knew how to administrate. He never forgot that the people in the rooms, the residents of Valley View Center, had to be the focus of everything that every staff member there did. And let me just tell you, I never worked at Valley View, and it wasn't long after I moved here that it was closed. But I was there a few times to do services and so on. And I know many, many people who worked there at one time or another. I would say Willie probably didn't have any problem convincing staff to do a good job. I am constantly amazed at the quality of work that was done and the care and commitment to the residents of staff at Valley View. So if you're one of those people, in your mind, take a bow, because you are one of our heroes. We're going to hear from some people. We're going to see some pictures. I haven't seen the pictures yet, so I'll be sitting somewhere or standing somewhere to watch them. But maybe you'll see yourself there. I am quite certain that there'll be pictures of the cabin. I heard about the cabin in this regard. It was one of the first things the family told me about, but we were sitting there and Randy, long time friend of Willie's, perhaps his best friend, told me that he remembers the ice fishing trips that they would take and how their wives figured they must be the world's worst fishermen because they never brought anything home. Randy told me that, well, actually, it was not until the eighth year, that they made it out onto the ice. So, and from what I know of Willie and his friends, they probably shouldn't have been on slippery ice even then. Oh, we're going to hear about his family and his friends. We're going to just hear so many good things. And I said to the people who wrote the tributes, you know, I think I'm going to have to stand up when you're finished, and we're going to have a standing ovation. These are really good tributes. So now I've primed the crowd for you. You got to deliver, okay? They're expecting great things from you. Let me read you something that was given to me for today. The center of Willie's universe was his grandchildren. Oh, he loved all the rest of his family, like his daughter and her husband and son and his wife, and he loved all of them. But that was okay, I love you. The grandchildren, he loved you. And I want to thank the grandchildren for putting this together. From oldest, I think, to youngest, we have Reese, that's his eldest grandson, and his girlfriend, Brianna. And Willie loved her as a bonus granddaughter. Jackson, Riley, Emery, and Cooper. Did I say your names correctly? Okay. I'm not going to make them stand up and take a bow, but I can understand why Willie loved these 6 young people. My goodness, if I had grandchildren, I'd like them to be as nice as you guys are. Thank you. So from all of them, what they did is they wrote individually some things that they remembered and loved or were special to them. And then someone, I'm not exactly sure who, Reese, thank you, Reese, put it all together as one letter. So from all of them, let me read this letter to you. Anyone who knew Grandpa knew that he was one of the most loving and caring people you had ever met. He was such an amazing person who put everyone else first and was a constant source of love, joy, and support. We all miss him, and he impacted our lives more than he could ever know. Let me just stop there and say, I bet he did know. I bet he did know. And you 6 need to know that you had an absolutely incredible impact on Willie, unmatched. He gave us so many memories throughout the years. The annual New Year's celebrations with plenty of drinks and dancing to ABBA. Oh my goodness. Or fun times at the lake, making birdhouses and going for rides on the pontoon boat. I heard so many stories about that pontoon boat. Some of them are not for a family audience. So. He was always just such a fun guy, and he liked to provide us with as much fun memories as he could, such as our trips to Disneyland or Waterton, parties at the lake that almost always included a late night chat after a couple of Ryan Cokes. And grandchildren, I assume that the Ryan Cokes were for Willie, not for you. Or the Christmas carols that will always be part of our Christmas tradition thanks to him. Even though a couple of us are not related by blood, he made sure that we did not know that and treated us the same as if we were. His generosity stretched much beyond that as well, with almost always putting our needs before his. To be fair, our needs mostly included Kraft Dinner for lunch or getting to pick out a toy at Walmart, but nevertheless, he always knew exactly how to make us happy. It was always a guarantee that you would have a smile on your face when you were with him, and that was what made him so special to all of us. His hugs gave us so much joy, and we already miss them. We know he is happy now, getting to see Grandma again, and you will always hold a close place in our hearts and live on through the impact you have made in all of our lives. We love you, Grandpa. Thank you. Now, if you're missing a hug, turn to the person beside you, and they'll give you a hug. I promise you they will do it. Oh my goodness. Somebody's about to get frisky over there on that side. Well, can't do better than that. You really can't. But actually, we can. Because we're going to listen to Gladys Johnson, a lifelong friend of Willie's. And boy, does she have some secrets to tell. Gladys? I had lost track of you. I thought you left on me.
Well, after that intro, I know.
Oh, sorry, that's your water there.
Thank you. Well, it is
an honor and a privilege to have been asked by Willie's children to speak to you today about their dad. Oh gosh, here we go. This is a man who for his entire life loved people, shared his hospitality, his kindness, his wonderful sense of humor. He was a practical joker. His love and his loyalty with all of his friends and family. A man who was truly the most kind, sincere, and social person I have ever known. Willie has always been a very sentimental man. He would save small mementos from special times and take moments to remember departed friends on their birthdays. He took the time to acknowledge his friends and family on special occasions, and you could always count on getting a card from him at Christmas or on your birthday. He celebrated everyone's successes, big or small. And he was the biggest cheerleader you could ask for. His pride in his children, his grandchildren, was endless. And speaking of mementos, and I hadn't written that down, but I spoke to Bree. When it was time for me to have my son, Willie took me to the hospital. He volunteered to drive me in my car, which was a standard, and he never drove one before. I want you to know the ride was exciting. After we got there, that day, Willie took a cigarette out of his package, wrote on it the date, wrapped it up, and put it away in a case, and he kept it. And then he brought it out some 18 years later to give to my son. He said, I wanted to be the first one to give him a cigarette. I spoke to Jody this morning, and he says he still has it. The tobacco fell out, the writing is still partially there on the paper, in the little tin can it came in. And he says what he has left is the piece of paper and a 55-year-old filter. But there we go. He was sentimental. I met Willie in 1955. He was 4 and I was 5. In 1955, Willie's family, our family, and the Murray family moved to the 1000 block Warner Street. Willie had 2 brothers. Doreen and I shared 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and Isabel had a brother. Willie, my sister Doreen, Isabel Murray, and I became fast friends. And wow, that's almost 69 years ago. Not too long later, Joanne Sauer moved into the neighborhood, and we got Randy Witaski. Despite the times we went in different directions for a while in our lives, when we did get together, it was like no time had passed at all, and we remained friends to the end. Randy was always Willie's rock, his go-to person, his confidant. And they shared a very strong bond based on trust and loyalty. From the time we were very young, Willie liked to look good. He loved his clothes and he loved his music. We spent hours listening to 45 records, singing along to the tunes, and Willie had the best collection of 45s, and he was the only one who owned a transistor radio. Our group would go walking the neighborhood, singing tunes, listening to that radio. And when we started riding around in cars, the whole group of us would still sing our own tunes, and most times didn't even have the car radio on. And some of the best times were sitting around the bonfire at Willie's cabin, singing our nostalgic tunes and enjoying the company of friends. Willie, he attended Westmount School for a while, and he was truly upset when Sacred Heart School opened and he had to change schools. But I am sure it must have been fate because it brought the Ruckaber family into the circle of friends. He and Andy became friends, and Andy ended up marrying my sister Doreen. His brother Wayne ended up marrying Andy's sister Diane. And Andy's sister Doreen, she became a very good friend. I'll mention that. And Randy Witaski dated her. The circle just grew. From an early age, Willie loved an active social life, being surrounded by friends, spending time enjoying the company of people, music, and laughter. And when we were older, a few cocktails were in order. One time, Willie's parents were going to be away for the weekend. We were all broke and couldn't afford refreshments. So we spent the day picking bottles, and lo and behold, we earned enough to have a good party. And I won't go into detail how we managed to purchase these refreshments at 16, but Willie did indeed host his party. Over the years, Willie took great pride in being the best host, taking care of all the little details that would make this occasion special. He threw himself wholeheartedly into every event he participated in. He and Linda had the best Halloween costumes. Camping with them was an experience. The amount of thought and preparation that went into their packing was phenomenal. Willie's love of clothes reminded me that at one period in his life he decided he was going to take computer programming in Vancouver. His girlfriend, later his wife, Linda, registered for a key punch operator's course. Willie got a light housekeeping room for his 3-month course, and Linda rented a suite with a girlfriend. Sheldon, that's my husband, and our son Jody, who was 2 at the time, went to Vancouver for holidays. Well, Willie did not like the course he was taking, and he wanted to quit. He wanted to go to Calgary, where Joanne was, and she would put him up, and he could find work there. Linda was going to follow when she was done. So yes, we would take him back to Calgary. Well, we were traveling in a large Oldsmobile, and someone with only going to live somewhere for 3 months couldn't have that much stuff, right? Well, the clothes horse was living in Vancouver, a short distance away from the pant factory. All kinds of pants and jeans that you could only find on album covers. And the box of shoes was unbelievable. And when we were done packing and our trunk was full, we had enough room to tuck our son into one little corner in the back seat. It was overflowing, and off we went to Calgary. The trip flew by. Willie's terrific sense of humor cracked us up all the way to Calgary, and my sides ached from laughing. He found humor in everything. And Willie's sense of humor and practical jokes were unmatched. It was. On one occasion, he invited us to a surprise birthday party for longtime friend Warren Reeve. He told Warren it was murder mystery night and that Warren's character was Bozo the Clown. Well, Willie had a bunch of us sitting in the family room with the door to the room all papered off. He had a big ring of fire painted on there. So when Warren showed up dressed like a clown, his face paint, the whole bit, and Willie, as the ringmaster, announced him. Ta-ta. And Warren jumped through the paper into a room filled with normally dressed people sitting there looking at him. Well, the look on his face was priceless. When Willie started to work at Valley View Center, it was like sending a kid into the candy store. Valley View Center was staffed by so many people who, like him, enjoyed life to the fullest. He met some of the best friends he would ever have. He loved to host big parties and have his house full of people having fun. And over the years, he developed deep, loving, lasting friendships. And despite his retirement, moving from his large house to his condo, the COVID restriction period, and many health issues, he was able to keep his circle of friends close. For many years, Willie, his wife Linda, Randy, and his wife Joanne would spend lots of time together. They shared their love at the lake and each other's company. When Linda passed away, Randy and Joanne remained close. But not everything was about the party. When Linda was with us, she dominated the kitchen. She was a fantastic cook. And it wasn't until after her passing we found that Willie was no slouch in the kitchen. He was also a good cook, and he enjoyed it. And Willie had a huge love for the art of winemaking. He loved sharing this passion with his friend Jeannie. Not only did he enjoy making the wine, he enjoyed sampling the fruits of his labor. Most of all, he enjoyed Jeannie's company, being able to sit on his balcony, enjoy the beauty of Crescent Park, and sipping his wine and enjoying his visit with Jeannie. Our friend Isabel and her husband John came down from Alberta for a weekend one time. We're all having a few bubblies on Willie's deck when Isabel said it was such a shame that we were all such good friends but only saw each other a couple of days a year. She suggested that we rent a house together in the winter and spend some holiday time together. And she made it happen. She found us a house to rent in Havasu City, and the 5 of us holidayed together twice. It was the longest time we had spent together in years, and it was the best of holidays. We daily marketed, choosing our evening meals. We shared the cooking chores, and all of us enjoying cocktails by the pool, barbecuing, relaxing in the hot tub, playing cards, and hearing tales about each other's friends and families. Willie told me on several occasions it was the best holiday he had ever had. And having Willie as a traveling companion was a true joy. We laughed at ourselves continuously. Willie was a unique individual. He had a very large circle of friends, and within that circle were smaller circles bouncing around. Inside those smaller circles were groups of friends who were special for different reasons. He had his Duffield Street Block Party group, his Valley View co-worker group, his Valley View family friends, his lake friends, his childhood friends, and the list goes on. So if anyone here was fortunate enough to have been in Willie's circle, you were family. Willie loved curling, and he was a joy to watch it with. And anyone who had the pleasure of watching a game with him would have been amazed at his knowledge of the teams, the individual players, and the game itself. This year, when the Scotties and the Briers start, let's all know that he's there, sitting on our sofas and watching the game, probably pouring Jeannie a wine. There has never been a friend more loyal or a friend more caring. If you've had the privilege of being his friend, you have been truly received a gift. There are so very many Willie stories that will make you laugh till tears fill your eyes. And I hope each and every one of you share your stories with all of us later on this afternoon. We love you, Willie. Celebrate your life, and you'll never be forgotten.
I'm so glad you started clapping. That was so well done. I'm going to give your name to people when they ask me for a good speaker, and you might even be able to set up a little business here. So, were you listening to that? Yeah? I was listening. At one point, I realized that probably there was something called the cult of Willie. All those ins and outs with the marryings of brothers and cousins, and yeah. I really, that was really interesting. Actually, all of it was. Thank you for opening your heart to us and sharing Willie as you know him. Now, there's no one better than family to tell us about someone else. And I know that if it were possible emotionally, every one of these people sitting here would just love to tell you about their Willie. The family has a great spokesman for us today. It's Willie's sister-in-law, Maureen Merrifield. And brace yourself, it's going to be good. Yeah. didn't realize it was, whoops, there it is. There may be one extra page at the back. That's your glass.
Oh, wow, I hope I live up to this. So I'm here on behalf of Bree and Rob, Scott and Laurie, Wayne and Diane, Rod and Linda, Stan, Willie's grandchildren, his nieces and nephews, and his great nieces and nephews, and it is an honor. And I'd like to share a few lessons that we all felt that we've learned from Willie as family. The first one is, if you're going to play music, and you should always be playing music, the volume should be loud, very loud. Willie loved his vast music collection, and I never even thought to mention 45s, and as many of us did, he moved from records to cassettes, to 8-tracks, to digital, back to records, but whatever it was produced in, a high volume was appropriate. In the days that his sound system included speakers the size of dishwashers, Scott would walk home from school and he only had to be about a block away before he knew his dad was home. Willie's taste in music was eclectic. He didn't really have a favorite genre. From the oldies like Patsy Cline and Brenda Lee that we would sing out on the pontoon boat on an October night, and we were sure we were waking up the people on the shore, to the Beatles, to Jimmy Buffett, to the more recent Savage Garden and Adele. He loved to sing along with it all, especially if it had a really good dance beat. Which leads us to the second lesson. You must dance. Willie loved to dance, and I'm sure right now we can all picture him, glass in one hand, broad smile on his face, swaying and smoothly moving to the music, singing and encouraging everyone to join him. While teaching Bree to dance, he told her, "It's all in the hips." And it was so funny because as we were talking about this and Willie's love of dancing, Bree said to me, she said, all my friends, or lots of my friends, have all reminisced about dancing with Dad in the living room. And then she said, I don't think I ever danced with any of my friends' dads in the living room. And I thought, that is so true. The next lesson, always express your creative side. Willie loved to decorate for special occasions, be they birthdays, anniversaries, Halloween, Fridays. But I think we can all agree he put a lot of time and effort into transforming the house at Christmas. Lights, countless strands of tinsel, garlands in every color, and dangly things hanging everywhere, wreaths, all types of ornaments throughout, including in the bathroom, where even there was a Santa on the toilet. He went all out, and the kids adored him for it. It was this creative energy that helped Willie design the first ever, and perhaps the only, egg carton man cave. When he and Linda were first married and living on 9th Avenue, the house had an unfinished basement. His need for a private space drove him to be resourceful, and he managed to eke out a space for his stereo and his records. He got a rug, he got some shelves, and he constructed the walls by stringing together those egg cartons that are this size and suspending them from the ceiling. He enjoyed many hours in his room. Making wine was a creative and fun adventure for Willie. The day he got out of the hospital, Bree took him home, and the first thing he had to do was make the adjustments needed for the last batch to succeed. A couple of days before he passed, he and Jean were attempting to do some bottling when a pressure hose escaped, soaking both Jean and Willie in rosé and spraying wine all around the kitchen. Number 4 is short but to the point. There are not enough swear words a person can use while doing odd jobs or fixes around the house and the cabin. And probably when an errant hose comes out of a fresh batch of wine. Lesson number 5. There can never be too much food or too many people for supper. Whatever the event, Willie loved to cook and have a crowd. Every year on his birthday, he cooked a turkey and had everyone over for turkey buns. Anderson horseshoe tournaments at the lake are legendary. They were a time we looked forward to as a chance to catch up with everyone, meet someone new, throw some shoes, have a lot of laughs, hopefully see some fireworks, and share a barbecue meal. And there was always lots of food. Baron of beef, hamburgers, hot dog, and German potato salad, the kind that lasts for days, won't go bad. If a couple of invited guests brought 5 or 6 extras, Willie would just head to the freezer and pull something out. There was room for everyone at his table. We will leave you with one last lesson from Willie. It may sound like 3 separate ones, but rolled into one, it is who Willie was. Always live in the moment, always have fun, and always do what you love with whom you love. On his 65th birthday, Willie told Bree he wanted the song Hakuna Matata played. It means there are no troubles. It was easy to forget your troubles and get caught up by Willie's generosity of spirit, his smile, and his zest for life. He lived life to the fullest. He cherished his friends and enthusiastically put in the work that is necessary to maintain the loyalty they have all shared for many years. Willie accepted everyone, and when you were with him, you felt a connection and knew that you mattered. It made no difference if you were family, a coworker, a new friend, a lifetimer, a neighbor, or someone at the lake who was drawn to the cabin by the music, the smell of food, and the laughter. He welcomed all of us, and he loved us all. Today, we will have one more lunch on Willie. You're all invited to the Anavets to continue this celebration of his life. We will have some fun, share some stories, shed some tears. Hopefully there will be music and maybe some dancing. And we will have turkey buns because we went to Willie's freezer and pulled something out.
I particularly like how you ended that. We went to Willie's freezer and pulled something out. My goodness. What a man. And what a representative of the family. You did very well indeed. Thank you. We've come to almost the end of our time together here. I want to thank you once again for being here for Willie's family. In just a moment, I'm going to offer a blessing on Willie. For that, I will be going across to the table, and I'll rest my hand on the urn and speak a blessing. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you to repeat together the Lord's Prayer. The words will be up on the screen here in just a moment. Whether you know the prayer or not, I would ask you to participate so that together we offer the blessing of prayer to Willie's family this day. For those of you who know the prayer well, please feel free to close your eyes and to speak from your heart. I invite you to speak the prayer together with me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Our closing moments here together. And although this will not be specifically a prayer, I would ask you if you would just let your eyes close and listen and feel and join your heart with mine. Well, Lily, you know that this is a moment that none of us really wanted to come. We would not hold you back. We know that you're free of the limitations that you had here and the pain and the suffering. We know that. But you see, Willie, to let you go for that, we have to let you go for everything. And we couldn't let you go without once again telling you that we love you, telling you that it's like we're lifting you up in our hands toward God, and then he reaches down and takes you home. We're going to follow one day, and we're going to be looking for you, Willie. We want you to know that it's our great desire that your journey is one filled with love and laughter and, yes, maybe dancing. That your journey home will be a sweet one. And that you will feel lifted up on the wings of our blessing here today. So we let you go, Willie, but we want you to know this. There's a part of you that we can't let go because that part resides in our hearts. And so, Willie, go with God. Be blessed. Be happy. That's our blessing for you. And now, friends, for us here today, we're going to leave this room very, very shortly, and we know that we're not going to see Willie again. But as long as Willie lives here, he lives. He lives. And so I encourage you, use the present tense whenever you want to. It's not what Willie was, it's what Willie is. He is present right here. And so for you, I wish that the paths that you step into as you leave this place will be paths that are straight and clear. Well, it's the prairies, there might be ice, I'm not sure about that. But I wish for you joy and happiness. I wish for you the kind of love that God has for all of us. Okay, I got the message. There's guys back there doing all sorts of crazy stunts. You know what I forgot, don't you? Oh, they know. Yeah, nobody was going to tell me, though. Sit back, relax. Not quite
charms whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. Dream, dream, dream when I feel blue in the night, and I need you to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream.
lunch cake, watching the sun bake. All of those tourists covered with oil, strumming my six string on my front porch swing. Smell those shrimp, they're beginning to boil. Wasting away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost sugar salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know it's nobody's fault. Don't know the reason, stayed here all season. Nothing to show but this brand new tattoo. But it's a real beauty, a Mexican cutie. How it got here, I haven't a clue. Wasting away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost sugar salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame. Now I think, hell, it could be my fault. I blew out my flip-flop, stepped on a pop top, cut my heel, had to cruise on back home. But there's booze in the blender, and soon it will render that frozen concoction that helps me hang on.
And now we have come to the close of our time here together. For just a moment, I will ask you to rise and then to wait while the family exits, and then of course you're dismissed and move on to the Annabelles. So because I said everything before that I should have said now, just go in peace.
himself and smile. Mama don't chase Willie down through the hall, but laugh, Willie, laugh, he don't care at all. Stay down, stay down, stay down, down. But little Willie, Willie won't go home, but you can't push Willie round. Willie won't go, try telling everybody, but oh no, little Willie, Willie won't go home. Willie, Willie won't